Hi, I'm Puneet. I'm a co-founder at Kaleidofin Private Limited. Kaleidofin is a fintech company that works towards providing formal financial services to low-income households, largely coming from informal sector. So I'm one of those people who are late risers. For me, if you were to ask me to sleep very, very late, that works. Not a very morning person. Morning is like really, really rushed. But Sunday is interesting. My Sunday morning starts up by me getting up, reading the newspaper, and then cooking a nice Sunday brunch. And that's when the family gets together. So really look forward to Sundays. In the life of an entrepreneur, one of the most important points is if you're getting up on Monday and you're not excited about going to work, it's time for a change. So Mondays are really exciting. I look forward to coming to office. It's just the fact that not a very early riser. So getting to the office at 10:30 is far more comfortable to get rather than coming to the office at 9:30. The problems that we're trying to solve here at Kaleidofin are really interesting problems. A lot of customers in this country, even in the 75th year of independence, customers still don't have access to financial services. And what we feel that we're doing every single day is to be able to make it more and more real for customers to be able to get financial services the way I enjoy them. And that makes it very exciting, very motivated. And at the end of the day, you feel that not only did your work make you earn money, but you also did something productive, which is making an impact to lives of people. The one skill that I would say that is super critical for everybody is to be able to tell stories. There's this interesting thing about how do you share your vision, how do you communicate what you want to do, how do you want to create a shared understanding, is just this ability to be able to create stories, to be able to narrate stories, to be able to use it to be able to motivate a lot of people. Most people now don't know how to write well enough. To be able to put it down in a written word, to be able to create a small, short, crisp paragraph which actually explains what you would want the world to understand, I think is an extremely rare skill now. The second part that I feel again is a very important skill set is to be able to suspend judgment. Don't have to react to everything, don't have to respond to everything. You can hear things and just suspend judgment for some time and then to be able to take a call. Third one that I feel is this thing of saying that while I'm looking at things in a certain fashion, you can look at things from a variety of fashions. There is plurality around you. There is more than one way to looking at things, and just the openness of saying that there could be other dimensions, again I find is super critical and is becoming more and more difficult to find. For the last 7-8 years, what I started to do was to be able to plan my next day every single night. And what I start to think about is that what am I going to prioritize? And I take a very important call there to say that am I going to just get consumed in urgent stuff that needs to be definitely completed, or am I also going to create some space deliberately for things which are much more important that needs to be done? And just that effort to do this in a deliberate fashion has helped me dramatically over the years. And I think I would have been personally much more productive if I'd started to do this very early on in life. In balancing profitability, raising equity, trying to reach out to customers, we're always thinking about what is the best way of managing multiple of these dimensions. But the milestone that we're trying to track is to say that we reach to a level of stability where the only thing that we're focused on is how do we get better customer outcomes? How do we make sure that everything that we are doing just gets solely focused on that entire aspect? So on my bucket list is to travel. I specifically want to drive down to Leh. That's been one thing that I've been really wanting to do. So that's one part. Coming to a little bit of the professional part, what I want to do as a part of what we're trying to do here at Kaleidofin is to create a not-for-profit connected to Kaleidofin. And that's largely focused on customers who are extremely poor, extremely vulnerable today. There aren't easy ways to be able to bring them into financial services because there are challenges of income, there are challenges of destitution that comes into picture. And I don't think there is a financial way of doing it. This has to be done through a not-for-profit. So that's an important part of what I want to kind of focus on. The second part again that I want to do on the professional side is again to create an academy. I think this is more important from an Indian context because we as Indian parents keep our kids really sheltered. Kids don't do summer related activities. They don't go and start working at the age of 14 years. In our case, kids for the first time when they start to think about money is when they earn it. Otherwise, the parents are kind of providing for everything. So that's something that I think is an important part, and again, something that I would like to do at some stage of my life. That's, to my mind, if you are an entrepreneur, I think you go through it on a regular basis. If people are not calling you crazy, if people are not kind of saying that this is completely unrealistic, if people are not telling you that you're doing too much, you're trying to chew too much, so unless and until people are telling this to you, I think you're on the wrong path. So honestly speaking, I think it's a good validation when people start to call you crazy, that you're perhaps doing the right thing. To my mind, that's a big moat, right? Because if people are calling you crazy, which means others are too kind of scared of doing it, and that's where you create value. So as an entrepreneur, I would say that that's the biggest compliment that I would take. But yes, that's happened a multiple number of times. So I would basically say 2 or 3 things to everybody, which is one, hear everything that people have to share with you. Try to learn as much as you can from the lives of other people around you, but also take it with a bag full of salt. What you're hearing from others is snippets of what worked. You don't know the circumstances under which things worked. You don't know the number of failures that you had. Don't try to put yourself in their shoes. Effectively ignore a lot of advice. You hear everything, see what is right for you, follow your passion, follow your dreams. Nobody else is walking in your shoes. But as you're doing it, don't get cocky about it. Be humble about what is happening, be open to learn, and try to take it one step at a time. So that would be one important thing that I would say. The second thing I would say is just don't give up. Most things don't work out because you give up too soon. It could be your relationships with people, it could be about the company that you're building, it could be about friends that you had. It's just not giving up on people, not giving up on your ideas, not giving up on your principles is something which ends up creating value for you and for the company in future.